Okay, so I know you guys can't hear me, but I was thinking it over, just sitting outside, and I think would now be a good time to tell you guys the story of how I got lost one time when I smoked weed with my friends. So what happened was I went to back into Northeast High School, and me and my friends, I'm not gonna name their names, but let's just call them Wienerberg and Trey. Wienerberg and Trey, I always used to skip school with. And we'd always go to this one spot. It was called the Cut. We called it the Cut. Everyone who smoked weed back at Northeast knew what the Cut was. And this was my first time ever going to this Cut. And I was with my buddy Wienerberg and Trey. And we went up to the Cut, and we had to walk through these woods. The Cut is in the woods. And we had to go through someone's yard to get back to it, and it was just this log. And but just everyone knows that it's there, so there's always people coming there. So we had 5 or 6 guys coming up there, even though we were the only ones there. And then we just smoked a bunch of fucking weed. And then after that, my friends were going to the crosswalk. The crosswalk is right in front of the school. It's just a normal crosswalk. That's where you go to just talk to friends and meet them after school after you skip. And they were going to the crosswalk, and I was like, nah, I don't want to go to the crosswalk, bro. I think I'm just going to head back to the school. They were like, alright. So they head off, and I'm still sitting there finishing the bowl I had. And then when I got up, I was stoned as shit. We must have smoked 5 or 6 bowls up there. And I stood up, I look around, I was like, holy shit, where am I? So it ends up that I've been walking through the woods for about 10 minutes now. And I finally found a way to get out, and it wasn't through the yard that we were supposed to go through. It was through someone's driveway. I walked up through the driveway, and I had no clue where I was at. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold to the right. And then, this was at 3:15, and my mom normally picks me up at the school at 2:15. My mom normally puts me up at school at 2:30 or something like that. And I was about a good mile away from the school, so I was sketched out as shit. And I'm sorry if you can hear this in the background. That's just me with my butterfly knife. And I was sketched as shit. So I finally meet up to a main road. And it just so happens this main road was right next to the school. So I see the Popeyes, because our school is right next to a Popeyes. So I start walking to the Popeyes. And it was hella far of a walk, and I was high as shit, so I was tired as anything. And as soon as I got to the Popeyes, I started to walk up the sidewalk. And lo and behold, I found a Mountain Dew live wire, full, non-opened at all, laying on the ground. And you know me, I'm high as shit, and I'm thirsty as shit. So I took that bitch. I mean, it was on the ground, it was full, so I took that bitch. And we kept walking, and I finally got to the school. So I was high as shit, and there was so many people there because it just ended school. So our school had a bunch of grass paths sitting in the front of the school. And so I picked one. I picked all the way to the corner so my mom would see me, and I sat down. And I just stood there and waited. I threw my book bag down and all, and I just chilled out there waiting. And when I look in between my legs, I find a 4-leaf clover sitting in between my legs. And then as soon as I find the 4-leaf clover, I get into the car. I was like, well, the 4-leaf clover didn't make it because I kind of lost it. I sat it down under my phone, and somehow it blew away. So that 4-leaf clover is gone. But I got into the car. My mom looks at my eyes. She was like, are you high? And I was like, no, Mom, what are you talking about? She was like, I see your eyes. They're red. Did you skip school today? I was like, Mom, calm down. No, I didn't skip. I was in school the full session. You can ask my friends. They will tell you. But after that, I talked to my friend Wienerberg and Trey the other day, and they were like, "Hey, remember the one time we got stoned in the woods?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, we watched your dumb ass walk around in circles." And I was like, "Nigga, why didn't you help me out?" And they were like, because I thought it would be a lot more funny. So lo and behold, the story was, oh, the best and worst day of my life. So skipped school, went to the cut, smoked a lot of bowls. I got super high, and then I got lost. And then like I started kept walking because my phone didn't have service at the time because you know my dumb ass goes service like it's nothing. But and I find a live wire and a 4-leaf clover. Well, those are my stoner stories. I have a lot more stoner stories about like me getting caught in school and shit. So if you want more stories, like this would be a good time to just tell me that you want more stories. And Mo and Wyatt, if you're watching this, don't show this to Wyatt. Okay? Don't show it to Will and Amanda. Just leave them out of the equation. Thank you and goodbye.